The following broadcast is a presentation of CUTV Sports.
From Higas Fieldhouse on the campus of Shippensburg University, it's the 2007 PSAC Volleyball Championships. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on California University Television. Alongside Associate Athletic Director Karen Herpy, I'm Joe Rubel. And Karen, both these teams, a little different road to get here to the championship game. Clarion had to go through a couple of teams in Westchester and Shippensburg out of the East. 3-1 victories. California, on the other hand, a 3-1 victory over West opponent Edinburgh last night. But Clarion, they did it in impressive fashion. A couple of 3-1 victories, and especially over Shippensburg. And Sarah Fries in that game against the #1 team out of the East just had a big game.
Sarah Fries did have a big game. She is a left-handed hitter that plays on the right side. And she, as we had talked about with Katie Bienick, she packs a whopping punch with a lefty, being able to attack cross-court and being able to see the block much better than a right-handed hitter could. So when I talked to Shippensburg coach today, she said Sarah Fries was definitely the factor in beating them last night, and we're going to look to see if she's going to be a factor today against California.
And on the other side, on that strong side, she has Christina Steiner, Amanda Angermeyer. And Christina Steiner, the leading kills statistic leader at over 4 a game in the conference this year, but it was Amanda Angermeyer, I think you were here watching that game, that really kind of posed the problem for Shippensburg as well.
And I think when you look at Clarion's offense, you're going to see a really stacked front line. We have a 6'2" middle hitter. The outside hitters are very strong too. So we have a good offensive attack. It's very even across the line for Clarion, and it's going to be a good matchup today for California.
Yeah, it's Nicole Andrews in the middle for Clarion. On the other hand, California, it was the outsides against Edinburgh that really both had big games. Joanna Nist, Amber Santavi, 18 and 20 kills.
And of course, we talked about the game plan for California being to keep the ball away from the defensive specialist, libero for Edinburgh. That game plan worked very well last night as California able to capitalize with a 3-1 victory over Edinburgh.
And for California, it snapped a 9-game streak where they had shut opponents out 3-0. And California, give you an idea, they enter this game 31-3. That's a 30-match win streak involved in there. Karen, we were talking about the numbers yesterday. Figured out earlier, 90-9 individual games over that span. So not only are they winning, they're winning games. But 3-0, 3-1, there was a couple 3-2s thrown in there.
Sure, certainly they have dominated a majority of the games that they've played this season. They haven't lost since the beginning of September when they went to the West Coast to play. They're looking to continue that streak today in the PSAC championships, and then of course continue that on into the NCAA regional tournament.
And for California, all 3 losses outside of the region. They sit at #1 right now. Clarion sits at #2. 27-4. Overall, 22-4 in the region. Those are very impressive numbers as well.
Both teams are very impressive, and I think this is going to be a future matchup in the NCAA regional tournament as well.
And for Clarion, that victory over Shippensburg, one that kind of proved that the West has been better than the East all season. And I was quite surprised that it kind of turned out that way, especially looking how close they were. The first 2 games went 30-25. Clarion won the first game, Shippensburg the second game, then Clarion 30-25 in the third game. But game number 4 was just a big victory. We'll talk about that a little more after the national anthem. 3-1 victory. We talked about the first games being close, but that fourth game, they really pulled ahead. I think the final was 30-21.
It was a close matchup, but I think as we've seen in the last couple of conference matchups, that the eastern schools such as Shippensburg, Kutztown, Westchester have come on and dominated as well and have beaten some of the West. So no longer do I think that it's so much dominated by the western schools, but the eastern schools, as we had talked about, are moving up in the rankings too. And we can see that in the regional rankings where you have Shippensburg and Kutztown within the top 6 in the region and looking for an NCAA berth next week.
With that Shippensburg team, you take a look at that starting lineup. They had nobody under 5'10", a couple girls over 6 foot, and no seniors in that starting lineup. So I would have to think a team to contend with again next year.
They're definitely going to be a strong team returning next year, and I really commend their coach, Leanne Piscotti, for doing such a great job. Kutztown the same way, a very young squad returning. He mentioned that prior to his game yesterday. They're both looking for great things next year in the conference as well.
Kutztown, they have those 10 freshmen on the roster. Almost a little unbelievable that they were even here this year after what they lost, what they brought in. And, we've seen a great tournament so far. We haven't seen any 3-0 victories. We saw a couple of 3-1s and even a 3-2 match yesterday.
Right, very impressive play by all the teams that have been here, and really just a great tournament. Nothing real predictable, nothing that has nobody that has really dominated, as you had said. Each team taking a game here and there, so it's going to be a good matchup today as we see California and Clarion in the finals.
Both of these teams met up twice during the regular season. It was all the way back September 18th, California 3-2 victory over Clarion. And then just a couple of weeks ago, October 23rd at Hamer Hall, a 3-0 victory. But, we talked about yesterday, Clarion, they just did not play well that game. We saw them play much better yesterday. And I have to think the September matchup is a much better indication of what we're going to see here this afternoon.
It is. We always talk about it. It's difficult to play Clarion on the road. You can see California pulled out a 3-2 victory. This will be a neutral site, so nothing in particular for both teams. I'm looking over to my left shoulder to see the Clarion Golden Eagle here supporting the team as well. So they have their team mascot here.
And Clarion travels a ton of fans down. I was talking to Katie Arn's parents before the game, her mom. They came all the way down from Michigan just to see this. So the support's there. California, a couple dozen fans in attendance as well. You mentioned that with the neutral site, California in the season, they're 8-1 in neutral site games. Clarion, after last night, they're 11-1 in neutral site games. So, both teams, it really doesn't affect them either way. And I think it's tougher to go play on the road than when you meet a team somewhere in the middle. In this case, the far middle.
It definitely is. It's an advantage to be at a neutral site. We were looking at Shippensburg. Obviously, you wouldn't want to play the home team in a championship match when they have the advantage of the fan and the crowd. But here you see Clarion fans. They've made signs and are excited to hold them up and show them to the camera throughout the day. When we look at Clarion last won the PSAC title in 1988. California, as you know, won the title in 2005, so both have some experience in the tournament.
And the surprising thing, I know you're looking at the same thing I read earlier, that yesterday was Clarion's first PSAC tournament victories since 1990. And for a team that's been to the NCAA tournament for the last 5 years, and obviously they've been in the PSAC tournament a few times, but to not pick up any wins, I think it's as surprising for you as it is for me.
It is, but I think when you look at the PSAC championship, even getting into the top 6 that are advancing into the tournament in the first place is quite impressive. Sometimes the win-losses don't tell you the true story of how strong Clarion has been over the past couple of years. And of course, California being in the championship game the last 2 years and making several appearances as well.
In that 2005 championship game, California down 2-0 to Lock Haven, who was really a regional and a national power at the time. They came back 3-2.
Were you at that game?
I wasn't at that game. I wish I was. I was at the regional a week later.
It was an impressive victory over Lock Haven at Kutztown. So again, a neutral site. California was down, came back and won in a strong victory there.
And Karen, just the atmosphere here today seems to be much more energized than what it was yesterday during the semifinals. I'm sitting here a couple times having to kind of pull the headset in a little bit to hear what's going on, and the teams, they really seem much more energized. They're really going to be into this game, and they have every reason to be with any sport.
Both teams came in here excited. You can see the energy during warm-ups, slapping hands with each other, running around, really enjoying the moment of a PSAC championship.
Starting lineups for California: it's Renata Da Silva, Megan Menzer, Joanna Nist, Katie Bienick, Tamara Hinnick, Amber Santavi, and Marta Hodge. The libero for Clarion: Christy Fiorello, Katie Arn, Christina Steiner, Nicole Andrews, Tressa Dvorsky, Sarah Fries, and the libero Vicky Gentili. California opens the serve. They go to Bienick on that right side, and just a solid volley to start this game. Hinnick's going to give the help. Bienick again. Just goes for the back corner, just long. Clarion gets on top first.
California went to Bienick for both shots. Clarion went to Fries for both of their shots.
Katie Bienick with the help. California has to send the free ball. And now Sarah Fries helping out her setter, Christy Fiorello, right to the middle for California in the kill. Tamara Hinnick.
Yeah, great kill by Tamara Hinnick. Clarion only hitting off-speed shots right now, not really getting into the full swing. Tamara Hinnick capitalizes in the middle.
Fiorello sets Christina Steiner, as we mentioned, the leading kill hitter in the conference. To go outside to Sarah Fries off the block. And Sarah Fries continues where she left off last night.
Sure, she had as a lefty hitter, she used the block. That block hit out of bounds for a point inside out for Clarion, who leads 2-1.
There's Christina Steiner back to serve. Right back to that right side to Katie Bienick with a kill off the block.
And again, California being able to utilize the lefty hitter and Katie Bienick to push the ball off the block as well. Hinnick will drop back to serve.
Goes to that right side and puts it very close to the sideline. Steiner just has to throw it off the block. California keeps it alive. And they go into the net.
Tight set to the net by California, and Amber Santavi trying to go after the ball, touches her shirt to the net, so Clarion will take the side out.
It's Vicky Gentili to serve. And Gentili, a player that puts the serves in, keeps them there. Bienick right out of the middle, tip ball. Clarion's going to play it up. Christina Steiner blocked at the net on the free ball attempt. Right back to the outside. Amanda Angermeyer, another player that had a big day yesterday. And Megan Menzer just tip ball in the middle. The outside blocked by Santavi. And just solid defense. That one goes off the antenna, off the block. 4-2 Clarion here in game number 1.
Good coverage by both teams. Clarion pulling up a double block in the middle against Megan Menzner as she attacks the ball. Both are utilizing their lefty hitters quite a bit during this match.
Gentili goes deep. Right back to Katie Bienick. Goes that off the top of the block.
Interesting when you have Katie Bienick, who is 6'2", going against the middle hitter from Clarion, also 6'2", using the hands, being able to get a touch on the ball and getting the side out for California.
And Nicole Andrews, that middle hitter, they're going to go weak side to Fries. That's blocked, but we talk about Nicole Andrews right in the middle. She's a player at 6'2". She's a very good blocker. The one thing, I didn't see a lot of real hard swings out of her yesterday. And remember, she's only a freshman. Is that something that's going to develop over the next couple of years with her? Is just that arm strength and really put a ball away?
I think so. I'm watching the incredible play on Clarion's side. I lost my train of thought, Joe, as I'm watching the play in action. Clarion had a great defensive play where they sent a ball close to the ground back over the net.
California still comes away with it late. Mallory DeMarco checks in to serve. Played defensive 5. That one rolled out of bounds.
Clarion still really utilizing Fries quite a bit in their offensive attack. Very little going to the middle, number 10. A few going to the outside, but Fries is their go-to person.
Fries misses that one off a serve receive. A little Christy Fiorello.
California will take the lead, 6-4. Mallory DeMarco serving for Cal.
Good pass from Angermeyer. They go right into the middle to Andrews, and that's what I'm talking about there. As she develops, gets a little older. That one there, it's just not hit as hard. as you might see out of some other middles, out of someone like Tamara Hinnick.
And certainly, as a player, she's working on her timing, getting things down with the setter. She's only a freshman right now, and as you had said, she will develop over time to a more powerful swing, more ability to read the court, but she's doing a great job as a blocker.
But as a freshman, still a very good player. Obviously, she's in the rotation every time, at least every time we've seen her.
This will be a time now that California can capitalize as Sarah Fries moves to the back row, and outside hitter Joanna Niss will just face the setter as a blocker as well as a middle hitter. So truly a time to see what California can do from the outside hitter's perspective.
Santavy drops that one short. California gets something to work with. Steiners has to roll it to the outside. It's Menzer in the middle, now net violation on Clarion. You talk about Fries dropping back to the back row, but they've still got to be aware of her defensively, as Clarion set her half a dozen times last night in the semifinal match from the back row.
Right, and you see at California, actually, they served her the first time. Menzner capitalizing on the short ball to the net. Timeouts called by Clarion.
Megan Menzer just puts away the overpass. And for Clarion, a timeout now, down 5. Not long ago, this was a 5-4 ball game. California on a little bit of a run and regrouping. Clarion offensively, it looks like everything's been all right. California's defending it. What adjustments are now made at this first time out?
I think Clarion sticks with their attack. They're really spreading the ball out very well offensively on the net. They have 2 hitters in the front row right now, so you may see them pull the middle hitter behind the setter to create more of a one-on-one blocking situation against California. California, as we had talked about, now that Fries is in the back row, going more towards the outside with Niss going against the setter as her blocker, a shorter person that she should be able to go right over. Santavy will drop back to serve for California, and California leads 10-5 in this first game.
Good pass from Gentili there, blocked at the front by California. Now they send that free ball back to the corner on first contact, but smart play with the Clarion defense up all near the 10-foot line.
Smart move by the setter when her team was out of system, sending that second ball over the net, catching California a little bit back on their heels. They were waiting for the pass set and hit. California doing a good job getting Clarion out of their offensive attack. Passes by Clarion pulling back at the 10-foot line, so you're not able to run the full system of hitters.
Katie Aaron will certainly go right to the outside. The Niss goes right through the block. Clarion can't keep it up out of the net. So a quick side out there for California.
Niss again capitalizing on the setter as her defensive player. Goes cross court, gets a kill on the left back player.
It's Megan Menzer serving for California. It's a good one on. And make Fierro move for it. Stuck up, De Silva goes outside Niss. Big swing. Goes over top of the block and long. And Joanna Niss is a hitter. She came in last year as a freshman. How much did it help her to have a player like Katie Barker there her freshman year to really help her learn through the offense, both being outside hitters?
Well, Katie was a tremendous player for California, and I think it's great to have a mentor that really shows the strength of seeing the court, being able to make decisions, and as we had talked about yesterday, not always hitting the ball as hard as you can, but changing up your shots and knowing when is the correct time to do that.
We saw Tamara Hinnick there just pass one over, really on just a broken play from California. It finds its way to the center of the court. De Silva's going to serve. We'll bring Katie Bieniek back in. And this goes to that outside. Hinnick Bieniek just sends one over. And California chance to set up. They go weak side to Bieniek. Off the outside of the hand, Miss hits it, but enough that it stays in the court.
Right, Steiner and Dvorsky blocked her at the antenna. That left a cross-court shot open for Bieniek, who took advantage of hitting to that setter's position.
So another floater serve. California goes over top, puts it down, and they did call him for coming over the net.
That's exactly right. Tight ball to the net. They setter was going for the ball. You can't interfere with the play, so they call it for Clarion. Clarion will take the side out, and they are down 13-8.
Setter Christy Fiorillo drops back to serve. Good pass out of receiver, go right to the middle.
Missed with a triple block against her. Ball will go outside to Steiner. California wins that.
And they keep it alive. Fiorillo's going to go right back outside to Steiner. Again, just has to put a hard roll down the line. Bieniek on that right side, kept alive. Steiner again goes down the line, but Onto the Silva there, big swing. California, they don't, well, Clarion keeps it alive out of the net. Outside, Joanna Nist with the kill. That's a great volley and a rally there out of California and Clarion. And then one in the middle of the game to start to build momentum off of.
Joanna Nist with a strong attack. She has Freeze on the outside blocking her right now, able to find the seam and hit to the left back position.
There's Freeze. They go to the outside, blocked by California. They're going to get a chance to set something up here. Quick one to the middle, just thrown to the corner by Tamara Hinnick.
And as you can see, a little bit of what we saw yesterday with Edinburgh, Freeze played left side, didn't switch over to her right side position on there. So she's playing a multitude of positions in the front court right now.
Deep serve from Nist, played by Gentili. They go to Steiner and they call California in the net. Didn't really matter anyways.
Coming in for Clarion is Engermeyer on the outside. In this position, Freeze will move to the right side as the blocker there, triple block against Hinnick.
There was California. They realized the block there, and Auto de Silva goes back to the right side. Try and get away from it, but both the middle and the right side hitter get over to cover. And the reason Katie Bieniek doesn't have a clean shot down the line. Yeah,
Dvorsky for Clarion doing a great job blocking middle, left, and right and getting out there to really close the block for Clarion.
Christina Steiner, really an odd delivery on the serve. But it's been effective. California just puts that one there out to defense. But Steiner's serve, I don't know, obviously you coached. Is that something that you don't see too often? She has a lot of body movement in her serve, but she's effective with it.
I think everybody has a different style of serving, and sometimes you don't want to change too much of what they're doing as long as they're effective in what they do. So,
Freeze has to handle second contact as Angermeyer blocked the net by Katie Bieniek. Back to the other side to Freeze, just plays tip ball. No coverage for California. Point side out for Clarion. We'll bring Vicky Gentili back to serve. I think it's the third time she's come back to serve. So again, a lot of trips through the rotation, much like we saw last night, at least in the Clarion Shippensburg game, a lot of side outs. Outside, Santavi puts it off the antenna.
That ball hit the antenna. Looks like Santavi trying to cut the shot line, but just caught the antenna on there. Clarion is still trailing 16-12.
Gentili, good hard serve back to the corner. They set Santavi off the net, still blocked. De Silva plays it. And Freeze just tried to pull it away quick. They go right to the middle. And double contact on Renata. So it's not Clarion chipping away.
You don't see that too often from the setter of double contact, but they do call that on Renata De Silva.
In the morning matches yesterday, wasn't called more than maybe 2 or 3 times through a couple of matches. And then in the evening, the semifinal matches, I think I saw it called maybe half a dozen times. It picked up a little bit. They called a little tighter game. But either way, it's consistent, so you can't complain about it. They're calling it both ways. The officiating, I think, has been outstanding here throughout the tournament.
It has been outstanding. Katie Bieniek finding a kill right through the blocker's hands. And if you notice, the blockers of Clarion really in sync going up to block. Both of them have the same movement going to the outside. Their blocks up at the same time. They're really doing a good job in that respect. Blocked there by Menzner and Renata De Silva. Ball hit long, so California will get the point inside out. They are leading 18-13, and Mallory DeMarco will drop back to serve.
Solid play there by Marta Hodge in that defensive 6 back middle position. In perfect position to know on the court, a ball above your waist is out of bounds to leave it go.
That's right. You have to know where you are on the court at all times and have some court sense that if the ball is hit high, it's going to be out of bounds.
Sarah Freeze on the right side, a big swing through the block. Joanna Nist can't bring it up.
Again, Freeze is back to serve, so the setter is up front right now, creating 2 hitters for Clarion.
And the last time that Freeze dropped back was really when California pulled ahead to this 4-point margin they're at now. Trill's going to go out to the outside to Angermeyer. She's blocked it, and at that time it's De Silva. Fiorillo just tries to put one over. Nice dig by Mallory DeMarco. And California just misplays one there, just trying to send something over.
It was a nice dig by Mallory DeMarco. California couldn't capitalize on that. Freeze will drop back to serve. 18-15 California.
And Freeze on the serve, she's very quick. She's ready to go as soon as that whistle's blown. DeMarco out of the back row goes right at Gentili. And Angermeyers has to roll on California to work with it. Outside Santavi. cross-court kill.
Great cut shot by Amber Santavi back in front of the left back player to get that point for California. Really did a great job pulling the ball inside of the blockers.
And Santavi will drop back to serve. Fiorello goes the outside to Angermeyer, goes over the block. De Silva goes outside. Joanna Nist down the line. Looked like somebody might have been in the net. I don't know if the ball might have caught it late. Brown with the kill through the block.
So ball hit off of Hinata De Silva's hands for a point for Clarion. Joy Carey will drop back to serve. It's 19-16, California.
And Joy Carey, someone not used much during the quarterfinal match, but we had a lot of play there in the semifinal match, came in to serve and play defense, and picked up a lot of balls for Clarion off the floor last night.
She did. On that play, Menzner hits the ball off the blocker's hands out of bounds. She will drop back to serve for California. Both teams playing very well, very consistent in this first game.
Menzner missed that serve down the line. Marta Hodge right back off the bench. And you talk about they've been playing well. We haven't seen any real sloppy volleys, mishits, poor passes, bad sets. It's been a very clean game so far. So we go right to the outside. Joanna Nish just pounds that through the block and in.
Both sticking with a great game plan. Bieniek comes back in for California. De Silva's back to serve, 21-17, California.
Silva goes right at Sarah Fries.
Dvorsky comes in with a slide attack for Clarion.
Go to Katie Bieniek, the blocks there, goes right around it. Now a big swing from Joanna Nist. Puts it away on the overpass. And as a hitter, you enjoy seeing those ones come in from the other side of the net, just the same as a set would come in.
I think any player would tell you that's the best ball to hit. It's exciting. You're at the net, and you can just go up and catch the other team out of transition.
Silva again goes to Sarah Fries to go outside of Christina Steiner. Solid swing dug up by Marta Hodge. California give a free ball to work with, but they go to a soft spot on the court, make the defense move for it. Steiner now just rolls one. Hennick gives De Silva the help. Cross court from Nist. Colonel reset it, blocked off the hands of Katie Bieniek and out.
And if you watch Hennick during warm-ups for California, she does a lot of setting. She goes in and she does a lot of practicing at the setter's position, anticipating when the ball is hit to De Silva that she can step in and be that setter.
And as a middle hitter, and even as a right side hitter, you've got to have a little better hands than the outside hitter just because you're closer to the setter, and you're usually the one that's there for the help when they call for it.
Right. And still, it's a good philosophy to have. Hennick can spread the offense out, either setting to the outside or behind her, trying to create that one-on-one situation for the hitters.
Fiorello drops back row. She'll have three hitters to work with up front. Go right back to that weak side. It's Nist there before making the switch, and right back at the setter position, Fiorello.
Great job by Nist hitting the ball cross court. She'll drop back to serve. It's 25-18. California is leading right now.
And again, another one of those games for California that seemed much closer.
It's 23-19. A little bit of a mix-up on the scoring.
I thought the game was closer than a 7-point margin.
That's what I thought. I thought I missed a couple points in there.
That was another one with the net. California just goes away with it. That ball goes outside the antenna.
It was a great try by Christy Fiorillo to save that ball. Just a little bit too tight to the net. Timeout's called by Clarion. It's 24-19. California leads in the first game.
And down 6 points now, 5 points now, because my math's good. And in a point where you can't go 1 for 1. Is this the right time to call a timeout?
It's definitely the right time to call a timeout. You don't want California to increase the momentum and gain some more points here. You want to put in a plan of attack that's going to stop California, get the side out for your side. What's done well for Clarion is the roll shots or the tips over the blocker's hands. The coverage on California not as tight as what we had seen last night, and balls are dropping a little bit more often. So it's going to be interesting to see what Clarion puts into play after this timeout.
There you can see the Clarion faithful that have made the trip, some as far as Michigan, which we had a laugh about, of all places to go to, you end up in Shippensburg out in the middle of the state.
Exactly. Great to have fans from both sides. A lot of parents from California traveling to today's match as well. So Nist is back to serve. It's 24-19, California in the first game. She has a short service to Dvorsky.
Go back to Christina Steiner now on that right side. Her and Sarah Freeze not switching, even though the lefty's still on that outside. A big swing right through the block of Tamara Hennick.
And again, we see that rotation where, as you had said, Freeze and Steiner don't switch, and Freeze goes after Katie Bieniek and gets a good kill off of her.
Steiner serves Marta Hodge up to Renata Da Silva. There's Hennick in the middle. Goes for the corner, sends it deep.
Hennick again against a triple block from Clarion, something that we saw last night with Edinburgh doing against us as well.
So out of the timeout, Clarion accomplishes what they want. They take momentum away from California, at least for a little bit, until Katie Bieniek there.
You can see a little bit of revenge in her face against that that last shot that Freeze hit against her. Bieniek crushing the ball right through the blocker's hands.
Tamara Hennick serves. A good pass to work with. They go right to the middle. Tip ball by Sarah Freeze. A couple of Vulcans converge and can't come away with it.
And Freeze has a nice approach, hard approach to the ball, just pulling back on her attack as she gets it. It's a great roll shot by her.
Vicky Gentili to serve. So another good pass to work with, and there's Bieniek, puts it off the block, played up by Sarah Freeze. Over the outside, Amanda Angermeyer. She's blocked and it's out of bounds.
Angermeyer doing a great job on the outside, pushing that ball off the blocker's hands. Both teams using the blockers very well in their attacks, strong attacks by both sides. Clarion again looking at triple blocks in the middle against our attackers.
Gentili, good hard low serve, close to the net. Now quick middle. Marta Hodge with the dig. This is going to put up to the outside. Bieniek just sends over a free ball. Farrell again, they go tandem in the middle to Sarah Freeze, blocked by California. But off a free ball, something you want to do, you want to run a play where there's a lot of movement, a lot of confusion.
Exactly, and Clarion that time, the play before, they sent the attackers right in front of the setter and right behind. This time running a tandem attack in the front, but California right there to block it.
Gentili gets handcuffed on the serve. Priscilla goes quick to the middle, sent deep to the corner by Megan Menzer.
Great job by Megan Menzer. She had two blockers on her right arm. She pushed the ball back towards the setter's position. That corner wide open for California. It's 27-23. Mallory DeMarco serving.
DeMarco goes right at Sarah Freeze. And have to go back attack by Christina Steiner. That one's out. So California regaining momentum here late after Clarion clawed back into it.
28-23.
Marco, good deep serve. They go weak side. Freeze just tips one over. Now the Silver go right to the outside. And Santavia, that's off the antenna. They don't call it.
That's the officials calling the line right there.
Right in the middle, Santavia off the block. Clarion keeps it alive. Back row attack by Christina Steiner. Dug up Marta Hodge was there. Go outside Santavia. Cross court dug by Steiner. And right back to Angermeyer. Tip ball. California there for the covers, and Da Silva goes up, sends it over.
Free ball over by Clarion.
And that's going to slow down California, something to work with. Da Silva again on the carry, and that one's just long. I was saying that looked close from here.
I'm getting too emotional here, Joe.
But this one that should have been California's point. About 6 volleys ago after the ball struck the antenna.
I think so. California, as you can see, starting to tip the ball to the setter, making her get the first contact, pushing the ball towards somebody else to make that second set. Renata Da Silva bobbles the ball a little bit. Clarion gets another point. It's 28-25, California.
Let's Freeze back row to serve, so that's one weapon gone out of the front row for Clarion. California goes right to the outside, and a kill is in by Santavia.
This is the time for California to capitalize. Freeze goes back to serve. You have the setter as your blocker. Santavia will serve for game point.
Keeps the serve in, tries to drop one short. Drill goes outside Angermeyer, no block, and it's in. And so 29-26. So we're getting much closer late. Clarion's going to bring in Joy Carey to serve.
California players all looking at each other, knowing there was one side out away from the winning this first game. Joy Carey back to serve for Clarion.
Good serve, keeps it in. And Megan Menzer just has to roll one out of bounds. Misses that sideline. 29-27. Clarion not going away, and Coach Myers takes a timeout.
Good time to call a timeout for California. You don't want Clarion to start shifting the momentum their way. We're going to watch that play one more time. Mensner with a roll shot just out of bounds for California.
And for Cal, they were close to closing this one out. Still, Clarion's got to pick up 2 just to force this game to go to extra. And remember, you must win by 2. We saw one game go that way yesterday early on. It was a 33-31 game. I think it was Edinburgh and Kutztown. But out of the timeout now, we haven't seen any service errors in game number 1 from either team. Something that was something we talked about a lot yesterday.
Right, at crucial times, especially right after a timeout, we've seen some service errors yesterday. Joy Carey back to serve for Clarion.
And those service errors, not so much in the Cal game, but the other 3 games during the day. Edinburgh, a lot of service errors. They go right to the outside. Joanna Nist, dug nicely by Sarah Fries. Should go back row attack. But Santavy there, go right back to Joanna Nist on the outside cross court, wrong, and they give it a touch.
Nice, a touch on the play, and actually that is game point.
I think we're going to get a chance. We're going to look at it here, see if we can catch that touch. Looks like that ball deflected just a little bit. You can see a ball usually doesn't come out with that side spin off the outside hitter's hand. Reason to believe that it was touched just lightly at the net. So for California, they take a 1-0 lead after game 1, in which I think we saw about what we expected. It's a tight match.
It's a tight match. You have 2 great teams with great hitters. Clarion has Sarah Fries. They also have their middle hitter, Nicole Andrews. She is a weapon there. Their outside hitters are doing well. California, again, relying on Nist and Santavy. And we're going to look at Beanick's off-speed hit in the first game. That changed the momentum for California. Of course, California and Clarion both utilizing their lefty hitters quite a bit in their attacks.
And California, they really started the game off. It was almost the Katie Beanick show on that right side. And then after Clarion kind of settled in, keyed in on that, that's when they started moving the ball around. Middles, Tamara Hiddick, Megan Menzer outside, Amber Santavy, Joanna Nist. In that first game, California, they hit well. 24 kills out of 30 points. That's a very high number for one game.
It is, but when you look at both teams, California had 24 kills but 10 errors in 71 attempts compared to Clarion's 4 errors. They had 15, Clarion had 15 kills, 4 errors in 64 attempts. So Clarion utilizing their hitters just a little bit more. California just creating a little bit more errors, but still doing very well. And I think all of the hitters, as we had said, each has a great team of hitters in the front row. It really can go to anyone, but Clarion utilizing Sarah Fries a little bit more in their attacks.
And defensively, both teams playing very well in that first game. 37 digs for California, 32 for Clarion, led by Sarah Fries and Vicky Gentili with 9 each. And then California, I believe it's Santavy, had 12 digs, and Renata De Silva with 10. And when it's not even your libero leading your way in digs, you're playing well on both of the outside corners in the back.
And that's an interesting point to pick up. If Renata De Silva had 10 digs, a lot is going to her. Maybe that's Clarion's method and strategy for today's game, is to push the ball to De Silva a little bit more, forcing somebody else to set. That takes an attacker out of the play for California and only allows possibly 2 attackers in the front row. We talked about Hinnick setting a couple of the sets there. So we'll see how much De Silva gets action in the back row again, see if that's part of Clarion's strategy for today's matchup.
And California, they did the same thing to Christy Fiorillo. She had 7 digs in the first game. So both setters seeing some action in the back row. It's going to be Clarion and Christy Fiorillo to serve to start game number 2. California holds a 1-0 lead. De Silva, we're going to go right to the middle real quick to Mara Hinnick.
Over.
Dug nicely by Fiorillo. See California kind of looking at each other there. Wondering who was supposed to get there. And that one, the setter's position. But it looked like Marta Hodge was supposed to roll around there to pick up that corner.
I think when you're looking at the transition of attackers, Beanick has to switch over there. And since we ran a quick middle attack off of serve receive, we were still in transition on that one when Clarion sent that first ball back over.
There you see Tamara Hinnick so far early in game 1. Every time went up, put the set up. That time just turns and puts one quick to the corner. It's a point side out for California. Good hard serve from the back row, Joanna Nist. Tip ball. I don't know if that was an intentional tip or Sarah Fries at the last minute just didn't have the set she wanted to take a swing.
And a good roll shot over the net. Again, Sarah Fries really adjusting her hits for Clarion, whether it's a roll tip or a hard hit.
So goes the outside Santavi, kill off the block.
Santavi using her jumping ability to her advantage, really hitting the ball off of the top of the hitter or the blocker's hands. Hinnick's back to serve. It's 2-2.
Mishandled by Christina Steiner. And California free ball to work with. Hinnick handles first contact. To still go weak side, right side. And Katie Bean can't get the kill. Now blocked the net by Megan Menzer.
Great block by Megan Menzner, and if you see Phoenix attack, she is well above the blocker's hands. No wonder they're utilizing her on that right side as often as they can.
Hinnick serves back to the corner, catches the corner.
Service ace for Tamara Hinnick. She's a very strong server for California, really able to change her shots up, whether it's a long shot or a short shot. She is a tremendous server.
Now she keeps that one a little short. Blocked in the middle by Menzer. There's that Sarah Fries on that right side. Puts one into the net.
And Megan Menzer for California, only a sophomore, 5'11" middle hitter from Ringgold High School in Monongahela, real close to California. It's nice to see somebody close to the university playing for the team.
There's Menzer on the block. Beanick just quick sends it back to the corner. And now there's Tamara Hinnick. Obviously an offensive player back there, but tries to use the hands and just has it go right through him.
Sure, with the new rules of volleyball, able to set the first ball, many times a lot of players will set the off-speed shot.
And that's one of the reasons you see more sets out of serve receive as well. Beanick blocked at the net, but I think that rule new within the last 2 years, 3 years, somewhere around there.
It is. Beanick with a shot that's blocked right back at her. She's called for a carry, so Clarion will take the side out. California leads 5-4 in the second game.
It's Vicky Gentili. Deep serve, California plays it. Right to the outside of Santavi, off the block and out. Good court awareness by Joanna Niss on the coverage there to realize she's right at the line to leave it go.
And we talked about the ability of Renata da Silva to jump set a majority of her sets. Really, and again, the philosophy is throwing off the attackers on the other side, making them think she could be dumping the ball, creating a one-on-one situation for the hitters.
And California has to go off the block into the net. They can't bring it out. And so Clarion cuts it back 6-5 to score now. And it's Sarah Fries in the back row to serve. That's that one right at Amber Santavi. She looks to finish it there, just rolls to the middle of the court. Near the outside of Christina Steiner. And Fierro out of the setter's position. And it becomes a battle between her and Da Silva. Menzer gives the help. Santavi rolls back to the corner. Played up. Fierro going to go outside to Steiner. And Christina Steiner, averaging 4 kills a game, 4+ kills. But in this tournament, it's been around 2 or 3. And she maybe hasn't had the tournament she was hoping to have. But either way, she's still been productive, even without the big kill numbers.
She's done a tremendous job as the outside hitter for Clarion, really utilizing the block throughout. I want to point out Mallory DeMarco had some great reads on the last play, able to pick up some roll shots. She got stuck down the line, ready for that long shot on that last play. Right now the score is tied 6-6.
And I think, was Clarion trying for a substitution? And they're in rotation still. They haven't gone out of rotation. And they want to bring Joy Carey in to serve.
Joy Carey would be a front row attacker right now, I think.
And I think the problem was Carey came off the bench not realizing that Clarion held serve. It wasn't a side out. Tried to come in early. And at that point, when you move to the line, you have to come into the game. You can't go back to the bench.
That is correct. So California, we'll see if they can capitalize on that. Number 15 will be coming in for Clarion, and she's coming in for Joy Carey. So Clarion actually utilized 2 of their substitutions in that play.
And there is a substitution limit for the game. the game. Is there in the college?
There
now
is
I forget, get mixed up between high school rules.
There is a substitution limit. I don't know what.
I
want to say
is.
it's 13, but I don't want to make up numbers.
I'm used to it was each player got 3 substitutions. You were able to enter the game 3 times from the bench, but I know that's changed to a total number of substitutions for the game.
And the libero can come in without even counting
counting
against the substitutions.
So Clarion has to use 2 there on the really just a mental mistake from the bench, but we're getting back on track now. They get side out, and now Joy Carey will come in at the right point of the rotation into the back row for Amanda Angermeyer, who's been quiet here through a little over a game. That serve in, catches the line.
That was a service ace where Nist and Hodge really looked at each other, not sure who was going to take the ball. It's 9-8. California still leading.
And a service ace, an easy way to atone for trying to check in early. Menzer helps. They go to the outside. Joanna Nist just rolls one down where Sarah Fries is at. And Clarion now scrambling to keep it alive. Low ball to the net. Nist puts it up to DeSilva. Go right back to Joanna Nist. Cross court kill.
Great job. Great cross court shot by Joanna Nist. California, surprising. Sarah Fries is really doing a good job defensively in the back row. California still pushing all their shots to her.
Menzer serves deep. Clarion right out of the middle. Off the arms of DeMarco in position, but that ball came with a lot of heat.
That did. It came at us, too. Strong attack by Clarion. They take the side out, and it's 10-9. California still leading.
Nicole Andrews forces the missed pass, the overpass. And Hennick gets beat at the jump ball at the net. And so Clarion climbs back in. They tie it up here. And this game really back and forth. A lot of side out, a lot of rotation from both teams.
Nicole Andrews gets a service there, so it'll be a point inside out for California. A great break for them. It seemed like Clarion was starting to gain momentum with some of the tight balls to the net that they were winning the challenges on.
And for California, they've been slow through the rotation. They've had a lot, but that last really 3 when Katie Bieniek was out, seemed like it took a while to get DeSilva to the back row again. And they go right to the outside. Joanna Nist down the line.
I think that means he couldn't see it.
Yeah.
And they call the ball out, so it will be a point inside out for Clarion.
So the line judge down the side didn't get a clean view of it, and at that point it all goes to the umpire up in the chair, the official in the chair. California overpass, put down by Clarion.
Clarion will take the lead, I believe, for the first time. It's 12-11. Clarion leads. California looking for a side out to change the momentum.
Christy Fiordo tight to the net. Outside Bieniek has to hit from the offside there before she can switch. The block there, and they get the net violation on California. And again, didn't really matter that time as Clarion puts it away.
Everybody looking at DeSilva for the call, for what signal that she's going to give to them for their set.
And go right back to the weak side. Nist is there. And Bieniek has to stay for one because of the block. They get called for the lift.
Melissa Myers will call a timeout in this second game. Clarion leads 14-11.
And Coach Myers, in her tenure here at California, she's been very successful in the PSAC tournament. A 6-1 record. That one loss in the championship game last year, but she's had good postseason success, great success at California.
Coach Myers has had success, whether she's been a player at Juniata College, who's won several conference titles, as well as advanced to the national tournament, or whether here at California as a coach. A lot of experience in the conference, a lot of experience in these types of situations where a team might be down. So we'll see what adjustment California makes. Again, I think they were starting to look at Renata DeSilva as far as what plays she would be calling. Sometimes it's good to see the communication of the players when they come back on the court, the determination in their face to get that side out, see what adjustments Clarion will make. We see that Fries is up front, again playing on that left side position, where Steiner is on the right side.
With a good
They're switching.
With a good pass, look for California to run something. The pass not great, but still good enough. They at least run Joanna Nist out of the middle, which sends one just long.
California is still running a great offensive attack. Some of our balls just going a little bit long. And this had a triple block on her.
Fiorello puts one into the net. And that's the first service error for her in this tournament.
Yes.
It's not like she's gone back and quick set out. She's served a lot of points for Clarion as well. Blocked by California there. De Silva's going to go right back to this right side. And Katie Bieniek right on the line.
And you've got to take advantage of Katie Bieniek when she's in the front row. What a tremendous jumping ability she has. She's going right over the blockers. She's able to see the court and put the ball down.
Great serve there from this. Keeps it low to the net. Marta Hodge going to play it. De Silva goes right back to Katie Bieniek, right down through the block. And the problem there for Sarah Fries just didn't get up to the net and get those hands extended out over.
And I think De Silva understands the same thing. Katie Bieniek doing well in the first game. Let's see, Bieniek had 5 kills, 1 error, 16 attempts, so hitting very well from the right side.
And goes right back to their right side hitter, Fries. Was actually on the strong side before the switch.
She's just a tremendous hitter, a lot of power when she goes in to block or to attack the ball, able to utilize the blocker's hands and hit it out of bounds.
Christina Steiner to serve. Hodge plays up to go that right back to that right side to Bieniek. Puts it off the block. Hinnick keeps it alive. And come back to Angermeyer. And a cross court kill in front of Joanna Nist.
Catching Nist a little bit to her left side in that left back position, able to get a kill. Clarion is up in this game, 17-14.
Marta Hodge, good pass there. They go quick middle to Hinnick. Goes off the top of the block. Fiorello goes right side, freezes there. Now Santavi starts, it looks to finish it, and she will. Oh, Clarion's going to keep this alive off the antenna.
Off the antenna.
That was close.
That was a great save or a great try by Clarion, hitting right off of the antenna. Point inside out for California, and Hinnick will drop back. It's 15-17 California trails in this second game.
And I know we saw one yesterday. And the farther you get off the court, closer to the umpire's chair, it's just a difficult angle as that one goes off the antenna on the other side. It's just a difficult angle to keep it in play over the net. We saw one in the early game right at our table here, played back in. From our angle, it looked good. From the official's angle, it's tough to tell. They ended up rolling it out, and I don't think we could have decided either way. It could have been debated for 3 days. And you got a Menzer in the middle, just mishits it off the net.
Yeah, the farther out of bounds you go, the more you have to aim cross court at the shot. I think I saw that same play. They were almost at the scorer's table, brought the ball back in.
Well, Coach Myers takes another timeout here, and give Clarion credit. They didn't forfeit momentum after the last timeout. They kept it going. They're still at a 4-point margin.
And again, California is still setting the middle attacker against a triple block. We're not utilizing the spread offense. We're pushing the ball to the middle. We're going to have some trouble if we keep going in that regards and pushing, and forcing our attackers against a triple block. So we've got to roll our shots over the blockers' hands to the left and right of the blockers and really spread the offense a little bit more. We've seen Katie Bieniek successful on the right side. We'll see if California utilizes that and keeps going with that plan of attack.
And with Renata De Silva in the back row right now, they can't look to her to just go up and quick send one over to the corners and use that tip ball off the pass. So it's going to be a hitter that has to break the block. So there you go, the outside. And the block doesn't get there quick enough. Santavi, another kill.
Great job by Santavi getting up and over the block, utilizing the hands of the Clarion blockers, hitting the ball out of bounds. DeMarco, a great server for California. She's back to serve.
On Amber Santavi in that first game, 3 kills on 20 attempts with 4 errors. So a tough first game for her. California blocks the tip ball. And that one stays in.
Many times we've seen in this game California players turning and looking at each other. A little bit of a miscommunication. Fries will drop back to serve for Clarion.
That's served deep, it stays
Ball
in.
Called in, right on the line, I think. That's a tough one to call. It's 21-16.
And with Mallory DeMarco, she's in the corner. She's the one that makes that call in or out. I didn't hear it called either way. And I'm sure she did make the call, we just didn't hear it. Not one of those ones maybe Marta Hodge didn't hear whether to play it or not. California makes a substitution.
Lauren Price will come in for California. Ball's set outside of Santavi.
Back row attack played up by DeMarco. They go right tandem in the middle. California tip ball.
Great job by Amber Santavi. Really seeing, again, we talked about the block in front of you. You've got to hit it to the right or left. So really utilizing that. Lauren Price will be the outside hitter for California. Santavi back to serve. It's 17-21. Clarion's in the lead.
Clarion goes to the outside, blocked by and run onto the Silva. And again, they got to go cross court away from it. Go to that outside, swing down the line, and Lauren Price doesn't put it away, but Clarion's going to keep it alive. Free ball for California to work with. Right to the outside, Lauren Price. It settles a little low, a little bit behind her.
She had a great swing on that first attack. Clarion sends in a substitution, and it is number 11, Leanne Higginbotham, who is a freshman from Greensburg, Hempfield High School. She'll come in to serve.
Saw Higginbotham sparingly yesterday. California keeps it alive. And Clarion, they did the right thing there. They caught Price off the net. They went right to her side. But California, that back, are able to keep it alive. They're blocked at the net. Menzer just rolls back deep, and that goes out.
Ball hit just long for California. Nist will come back in for the Vulcans, replacing Price. I think Nist needed just a break for a moment. De Silva telling Nist, hey, this is the time right now. Clarion leads 23-17. California needs the timeout, or needs the side out.
That's a good pass out of service. They're going to go right to that outside Joanna Nist. Off the block, dug nicely by Vicky Gentili. They're coming right back to Amanda Angermeyer, cross court now, wide. So there's the side out now for California. They've got to drop back and serve, really. Probably pick up at least 2-3 points here.
Yes. And Hanada De Silva really looking in her player's face, saying now is the time.
There's the mistake from Clarion. They're going to go right to that outside.
Nist with a great kill from the outside. Point for California. It's 19-23. Megan Menzer back to serve. And again, De Silva really taking the lead as a setter, saying this is it, now is the time.
And your setter really is the leader on the court. They're responsible for what happens on the offense. There's a block from De Silva.
De Silva really crushing that ball right down onto the court. Clarion will call a timeout as California gains some momentum and starts to pull back. It's 20-23. Clarion still leads.
And that one, a block from the setter is always a big one. De Silva, we've talked about, at 5'8". We saw Shippensburg yesterday. Duval, their setter, 6 foot. But you have some teams like Clarion with Christy Fiorillo, who plays all the way around at 5'6", give up the height advantage. The blocking's a little tough for them, but blocking in general, and as a setter, there's a lot more to it than just going up and putting the hands there. There's a lot more mechanics and a lot more fundamentals behind it.
There are, and she does a very good job on the right side. Even if she's 5'6", she has a great jumping ability. She's able to get her hands up over the block. She's a great all-around player for Clarion. And California, you see the same thing. Hanada De Silva really not only talking the talk, but walking the walk, pushing the ball down, and as I said, demanding it from her players right now that this is the time.
De Silva, only a sophomore, to me is the most impressive thing about it. To come in to learn an offensive system that fast as a freshman last year, and now to just have complete control of it as California misses the serve out of the timeout.
A crucial time, as we had talked about, to miss the serve. Number 10, Nicole Andrews, will go back to serve for Clarion.
Go right to the outside, Joanna Nist.
Nist just burying the ball in the middle of the court.
And that one goes just right through the block and down.
And Bieniek comes back in for California. Great, strong front line for California, and Nist, Hinnick, and Bieniek. We look for great things from the right side as Bieniek comes back in.
There's the overpass out of serve receive. I go right back to Katie Bieniek. Just sends that one a little deep.
Just a little bit long in her attack, but truly she's still above the blockers. 25-21, Clarion is still leading.
And Clarion at a good point of the rotation gets Sarah Fries up to the front line. With Christy Fiorillo back, they run a full set of attack. And there's Fries just sends it off the block and wide.
Clarion choosing to attack from the right side. Again, utilizing the blocker's hands, a strong attack in Fries.
26-21, De Silva goes to the outside. Bieniek before the switch.
Great coverage by California.
And that one sent deep and in.
Great job by Joanna Nist, hitting the ball deeper in the court. She will drop back to serve. It's 22-26 in this second game. California trailing.
Quick
nice
block.
read.
Now De Silva has to go right side. Bieniek just with the tip, nobody home.
Bieniek with a great short shot right over the blocker's hands, and it finds the floor.
A deep serve, they go right at Sarah Freeze. Come off that side, dug by
Nice
De Silva.
coverage.
Gets the help from Santavi. She goes right back to Katie Bieniek. Throws it off the block, digs their own ball. Now to the corner. Gentili covers. Tip ball into the net. So California picking up a little momentum here, and Clarion going to take another timeout with this game being cut to 2 points.
And a miss hit into the net by Dvorsky for Clarion, and California gains another point. It's 24-26, and Clarion stopping to think about it a little bit, maybe change the game plan, get them a little bit more focused as they step back on the court. So California able to climb back, gain momentum, players starting to look at each other, like we said, and making it happen. I think this is a crucial game too. California really wants to take the second game and go into the third with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
Clarion, obviously, if they would tie it up, now they've got the momentum going into the third game.
Yeah, and really what happens when you end up 1-1 after 2, it becomes a best of 3. We're losing game 3. Now your back's against the wall.
Yeah, you don't want to get into that fifth game, that quick rally to 15 points in the fifth game. So for California, Joanna Niss back to serve.
That's a good hard serve.
Freeze
covers a free ball for California to work with. Bieniek handles first contact. So we're going to go right to the outside. Amber Santavi. Dug in the back by Gentili. Freeze hits it off the antenna and out.
Freeze hits it off of the antenna, and California gets another point. It's 25-26 as they fight back.
Missed another aggressive serve. This time they're going to go right to the outside to Freeze. That's a big kill right through the middle of the block.
Freeze finding the seam between Hinnick and Bieniek on that outside, really taking advantage of that.
And with that set off the net as a blocker, service ace.
That was a tremendous floater serve that just went right over the net and dropped to the floor. That was a great job by Christina Steiner. It's 28-25 Clarion.
Right to De Silva. Hinnick can't put it away. Quick tip. Hodge keeps it alive. Now Joanna Niss blocked at the net. On Clarion, they're going to slow it down, set it up. I like the call there, Steiner. Should be Angermeyer with the swing now. Katie Bieniek. It's it off the block. Freeze handles the set. Angermeyer touch ball at the net. De Silva goes up, pushes outside. Santavi killed down the line.
Santavi up and over the block, right at Fiorillo down the line. California gains momentum and gets a side out. It's 26-28. Hinnick, a strong server, will drop back to serve for the Vulcans.
And nothing Christy Fiorillo could have done with that. You just got to throw the arms up and really just protect your face. At that point, blocked by California, goes out. Now Clarion going to serve for game number 2.
Vicky Gentili drop backing to serve. Game point in game 2, 29-26, Clarion leads.
Gentili keeps the serve in. This plays it right to that right side. Bieniek blocked. Back to the other side. Santavi goes down the line, and a kill for California. And so they keep this game alive.
Mallory DeMarco will come in for the Vulcans. Front line for California is Santavi, Menzner, and Hanada De Silva.
And defensively in the back row, this is probably the best open the service ace for DeMarco at about a most opportune time possible. But defensively, this has got to be the best back row that California can put on the court. Both DeMarco and Hodge back there.
I would agree with you. And that first service ace, we just talked about a ball that goes over the net and just drops, and that's what DeMarco's did.
Hodge plays it from her knees. California rolls it deep. Christina Steiner plays it. They go to the outside. Blocked is Angermeyer. Weak side to Freeze. Tip ball. Coverage there by Joanna Niss. De Silva's going to go to the outside. Santavi puts it off the tape. Clarion keeps it alive. Angermeyer at the swing again. Another dig by Joanna Niss. Goes Santavi. Just rolls cross court. But kept alive. Good long volley here. Blocked by California. It stays in. Go again. Freeze kill blocking in for California. So we're going to extend game number 2. They get to the point.
Joe, I'm grabbing my chair as opposed to ripping my nails into your shoulder, but California ties up the game 29-29 with DeMarco back to serve.
Another block up the middle. Megan Menzler go right back. Sarah Freeze puts it off the tape. De Silva pushes outside. Santavi off the net. And just keeps it in play. The defense is what got California to extend this game. That one out. California now up 30-29. Karen, and An exciting end.
Oh, it is very exciting. California really playing well, fought back from a 6-point at least deficit. Now we're serving for game point 30-29. Again, an important play right here, getting that momentum going into game 3.
Remember, this game was 29-25. California took side out, and now they've held serve. That played by Hodge. California look to put it away here. Santavi down the line. Oh, just hits it. Mistimed the jump.
That's all right. It's 30-30. And Freeze drops back to serve. So again, we've got 2 hitters in the front row with the front row setter. A great position for California to capitalize going over top of her. Freeze with the jump serve.
Hodge plays it to Silva. They're going to go back row attack. DeMarco just tips it over and finds the hole in the
And when do you see Mallory DeMarco with a back row attack? In fact, she tipped the ball from the 10-foot line and got a kill off of her attack. Santavi drops back to serve again for game point 31-30 California.
Keeps it in, drops it right inside the line, off the block to Silva. Fiorillo in the middle, that in, catches the sideline, the official there.
Ball called in by the official. Coach Myers tells the players to stay back. They're excited there.
Well, and that one much more acceptable with the official, being on that corner. If it'd be down the other sideline where the official's on the other end of the court, you might have to say, hey, oh, come on, you can't see it. But that one there, you've got to go with the judgment. Again, very cleanly officiated matches here all through the tournament.
This with a strong attack from the outside.
Now California, Freeze just has to roll it. De Silva something to work with. They're going to give it right back to Joanna Nist off the block. Firo, a quick middle block on the tip ball.
Nice job by Menzer.
Or the outside, Steiner played up.
Great job, Santavi pulls that ball up. Nist hits the ball into the net. It's 32-31. Clarion. And Joy Carey dropping back to serve for game point for Clarion.
And give Clarion credit after California made the run to force this game to really an overtime. They regrouped, they came back. And that one there, Clarion came over, might have interfered with the settle, blocked at the net by California. Now they're going to get a free ball to work with, and De Silva has to handle first contact. That's what you want to do on a free ball. But a big swing and a kill down the line from Amber Santavi, the senior.
Smart play by Clarion. They had a free ball situation, and realizing De Silva's in the front row, pushes the ball to her, forces Mensner to set the second play. That leaves you one attacker, and now you're stacking your blockers against them.
The pass not that great out to receive. Steiner, I don't know, they got the touch. De Silva handles, and California, well, Tamara Hinnick heads up play, but that's an error there by Santavi.
It's 33-32. Clarion again serving for game point. Little bit of miscommunication. Again, Clarion going after De Silva to set the first ball, forcing the middle hitter to set the second.
Serve down sideline, Hodge, great pass. Right outside, Joanna Nist with a kill. California hangs on. Karen, obviously coaching, you've been around the game a long time. What's the deepest you've ever seen a game go point-wise?
I think in one of California's games we were close to 35, and that was probably against Lockhaven, so we're at 33-33 right now in this second game.
Obviously, with rally scoring, games don't last nearly as long. When I played in high school, they'd block like Katie Beanick. When I played in high school, it was the last year before they made the change to rally scoring. So we still played side out. We had games that lasted, matches that lasted 3-4 hours.
Oh, exactly. 34-33, De Silva serving for game point for California in this second game. And Clarion substitutes in Katie Aron in the back row.
Aron, a great day passing yesterday defensively. Had a great day. De Silva serving. So California, 3 hitters to work with. Right the outside to Steiner, tips to the corner, it stays in.
Oh, great shot by Clarion down the line. De Silva just coming in as the server. She finds the backside corner. It's 34-34. Freeze comes back up front for Clarion. Fiorillo's back to serve.
Hodge, another great pass. Backside, that goes off the touch and in.
Great job utilizing Nist on the right side for a kill. California leading 35-34, and Nist looking to end this game right now.
California battled back down 29-25. And they force this game to go long. There's Sarah Freeze off the block.
Touch off the block. That ties it up at 35, and Steiner will drop back to serve for Clarion.
And the lefty on that side, it looked like she almost tried to go cross court.
15 will come in for Clarion. That's Amanda Engermeyer.
And almost another substitution error there with Engermeyer coming in as Carey comes around to the front row. They had a little trouble earlier. California passing very well out of serve receive. Can't go to the corner with that one. That one dug up by Joanna Nist. DeSilla go backside. Beanick rolls it into the court. Fiorillo. Now she's going to go to her right side hitter. And freezes blocked. They go to the corner, stays in. Miscommunication between Hinnick and DeSilva.
Wow.
They get away with one.
Exactly. We definitely got away with one. DeSilva coming in to set, and Hinnick going up and attacking the ball, catching that back corner. And Hinnick to serve for game point. It's 36-35 California.
And it was Hinnick that started the
and
serve.
California wins 37-35.
Well, and two teams that didn't make any errors really for about 15, 20 straight points. It's the error from Clarion at the end to give California a 2-0 lead here in the PSAC title game. Karen, that's some of the most exciting volleyball I've ever seen.
That was very exciting. As you had said, Clarion was leading, I believe, 29-25. California fights back 30-29, and then from there it was neck and neck until the final.
37-35 the score, the latest I've ever seen a game go. But for California, that's a big momentum builder. Now with a 2-0 lead, and to do it the way they did, I think you get more momentum by winning a close one than you do by coming out game two, beating a team 30-21, 30-25, something like that.
And the big key for California is to keep that momentum as we get into the third game, continue that steady ride, and then the confidence that they have after that second game victory. For Clarion, they had a hard-fought second game. They're going to be very excited to get into this third game and prove that they should be the winner of it.
Yeah, and even though they had the lead, they give it up late, but you can't get discouraged by it, as even after you give it up late, you stay in, you hang in there, you had your chances, and you didn't make the mistake to lose it until the end. You played hard, you played clean. You played a clean game. They played a clean match so far, both sides of the ball.
Both teams very, very smart in their plays, selecting the shots well, roll shots, tip shots, as well as full attacks on the play.
That was Joanna Nist there to make that game 29-29, and force the overtime, which California eventually won hitting-wise. It's Sarah Freeze for Clarion, 14 kills so far.
And as you can see, she has 43 attempts. Obviously, their leading go-to person, Engermeyer, number 15, 39 attempts. All of the hitters doing very well. Steiner is the third go-to person on Clarion's team with 31 attempts.
And then California on the other side, Joanna Nist, 13 kills. Amber Santavia, 11 kills. The two outsides, again, a couple of big games. And then they kind of spread it around from there. Beanick, 8 kills. And defensively, 3 players for Cal, double digits in digs now. But how about Vicky Gentili for Clarion? 23 digs through 2 games.
Doing very well as the libero for Clarion and really picking up a lot. It'll be interesting to see if California comes out on this game, again, as we said, with the momentum going in, if they're going to continue to use Beanick on the right side when she's in there. Again, we talked, Beanick has 8 kills, 2 errors, and 30 attempts, hitting very well at 200 right now. Hinnick doing well as the middle, 5 kills, 1 error, 13 attempts. So Hinnick really able to capitalize, even though Clarion's putting up a triple block against her.
For California, only 2 service errors aside, that has not been an issue at all in either game. Identical service-wise, 3 aces, 2 errors.
Both teams serving very well, both consistent servers. California will start out the third game by serving, so Hanada De Silva is back for California. Beanick, Hinnick, and Nist in the front row for California.
Now De Silva to serve to start game number 3. California ahead 2-0. Freeze handles serve receive. They go to the outside. Steiners has to throw it down off the block. California, they keep it alive. Santavia just rolls to the center of the court. Christy Furiel goes right back to the outside, touched it at the net. Go right side, Katie Beanick rolls it down the line. All right, a nice job to keep it alive there for a few minutes, but at the end just can't keep it alive.
Katie Beanick with a great shot, not a full swing for her, a little bit more of an off-speed shot, but Clarion not able to handle it. California takes a 1-0 lead in the third game.
Silva again serves right at Sarah Freeze, killed off the overpass, Joanna Nist.
Nist, again, everybody loves those tight balls to the net, and Nist just cranks it straight down. California 2-0.
So California, they keep the momentum here to start game number 3. DeSilla, that one deep to the corner. Would have been close. I think one too close to leave alone. Hodge keeps it alive, go right to the middle. And Tamara Hinnick right off the shoulder of Sarah Fries.
Hinnick with the kill. Clarion calls a very quick timeout in game 3. It's 3-0 California, and Clarion will take their first timeout. Hinnick only had 2 blockers on her that time, utilized it by hitting to her left, which is the right back corner for Clarion, and getting Fries off the shoulder.
And Karen, you know the coaches. Jen Harrison of Clarion in her first year took a program that's been very good the last couple of years, but it really seems like they've taken another step this year. They pick up those tournament wins, but regionally ranked number 2.
And as you can see, a great force. She's done a great job with the team so far, and only to get better in the future. We're going to take a look at that last point again with Hinnick hitting the ball off of Fries' shoulder for California. So California takes a 3-0 lead in this third game. But Jen Harrison, as you said, took a program that was very good and has made it even better. So a tremendous coaching and accreditation to her.
And the thing is, we haven't really seen any of her freshmen, any of her sophomores service ace from De Silva to keep the momentum up right out of the timeout. But you know, which is a credit to what was there before she got there. You know, some very good players now. She can recruit her own players, but still have a good team. There's not that transition period of a new coach like you often get, because usually you get a new coach because the previous coach just wasn't performing, didn't have the players. But she takes over a good program, and now you don't have that transition period.
Right, and it's certainly easier to recruit when your team is so successful, and she's able to prove that in 1 year, getting her team to the finals of the PSAC tournament. And as we had said, changing a good program into a great program.
And being in the West definitely helps with the WPIAL, just a very strong girls volleyball league. So a lot of talent, a lot of players to choose from, and it's very deep. You don't see just a handful of players out of the league every year come out and play. You see, dozens of them go on to play Division I, Division II, Division III, wherever it's at.
And as we look at the PSAC West, we have 4 teams in the top of the rankings. In the top 6, that is California, Clarion, Edinburgh, and at number 6 right now, Slippery Rock.
Service error gave the ball back to California, outside the freeze. That's blocked. Comes out of bounds near us. And so 5-3. And that'll bring Christina Steiner back to serve. And Karen, with the regional rankings, selection is Monday. The winner of this matchup gets the automatic berth. But I know you're on the committee, so you can't give away too much. But from a speculation standpoint, are both of these teams looking at a regional tournament berth?
Oh, well, definitely. If you're going into the finals at number 1 and number 2, you're definitely looking at at the regional tournament. So I think it's safe to say California and Clarion will both be there, and as we had said, this could be a sign of what the finals could be as well.
And Tamara Hinnick, another kill up the middle. And California, they've shown their dominance in the region. They're 26-0 entering this tournament, 27-0 including last night. And I believe they're the only team in the country undefeated in regional play. They are dialing out of the Northeast, 1 loss. Cal State San Bernardino, 1 loss. Tampa, 1 loss. But other than that, California the only undefeated team regional play, so it's impressive. And it's not like the region is a poor region to play in. Sometimes you see that. There's one very good team and the rest isn't quite there. There's a lot of good teams in the Atlantic region.
There are a lot of good teams in the Atlantic region, and even when you look down further on the list, you had Westchester here this weekend. Great showing by that team. Lees McRae is very strong, and we saw that before. Beanick with a great block on the right side. California taking an 8-3 lead in this third game.
And for Clarion, they're 22-4, 24-4 in the region after the game's last 2 nights. And their 4 losses, 2 of them are to California. One's to Shippensburg, one's to Edinburgh. So still within the conference. And that one just rolled down the line. Not about how hard you hit it, but.
And I think when you look at Clarion, even though they lost to Edinburgh early on in the season, they beat them later in the season, which shows the improvement and the continuation of the program and what we see here. Teams get stronger as you get later in the season. Definitely you've seen that with Clarion.
And that win against Edinburgh in the last game, that was an important one that clinched them the number 2 seed coming into this tournament. As prior to that, the tiebreaker way still could have gone in favor in Edinburgh, depending on what had happened in that matchup.
And still, you see both Kutztown and Westchester giving great matches to Edinburgh and Clarion yesterday.
3 blockers all in the middle. California pushes it back out to the antenna. Now Santavia gets a clean look at it. Free ball for California work with Bieniek. Handles first contact. Goes just over the net.
De Silva can't jump. She's in the back row. Great job by Santavia. Rolls off the blocker's hands right behind them for a point inside out for California. That'll be a 9-5 lead as DeMarco drops back to the end line to serve.
And it was DeMarco that served effectively at the end of game 2 to get California back in to force the overtime victory. That one goes around the block, but California in position to play it. That one goes wide. They get the touch late by Christina Steiner. And Karen, you see there, Clarion, they go around the block, but DeMarco reads the block well, sees there's no gap in the middle that she can fill off the right side and be right where that ball is going to go.
It looks like California is taking Freeze at the antenna, forcing her cross court to hit it. DeMarco, a strong passer for California, a great defensive player.
And Angermeyer there with the kill. Comes inside the block, NIST has to route a cover. I just can't quite get in the lane of that ball. Now it's 10-6 with Sarah Freeze serving. California Santavia cross court off the arms of Angermeyer and a kill.
That's a great cross court shot by Santavia. Really, we've seen that effective. She's very effective at cutting the ball, getting it around the blocker's hands and hitting that sharp left side attack.
Santavia goes for the short serve. They send it across. Angermeyer touched the net by California. De Silva front row just sends it over quickly. All right, converges to go down the line and out.
Ball hit out of bounds for Clarion, so California gets the point. Santavia will drop back to serve. It's 11-6. California leads in this third game.
Santavia again drops one short. They make Freeze handle it. That goes off the block and out. But, forcing Sarah Freeze to handle the serve receive now, unless it's a good pass, really takes her out as an option, at least that first contact through.
That's right, and she's moved to the back row, so you have 2 hitters in the front. We didn't see too much action to the middle hitter, Andrews, but she did get a great attack on that one for a kill.
Outside, killed down the line. There's Joanna NIST.
NIST again recognizing she's going against the setter. Can hit right over top of her and crushes that ball for a kill. 13-7, Megan Menzer drops back to serve for California.
And the block doesn't even get to the antenna. That was where Joanna NIST went right down the line. Again, Shelley puts it up. They go right to the middle to Andrews. Attack error into the net. And Nicole Andrews, they set her 13 times through 2 games, maybe 3 times, 4 times here. In game number 3, a player I thought they might have gone to a little bit more as Clarion takes a timeout. And at 14-7, pretty big deficit. And we'll take a look at those regional rankings and how they stand. And there's a couple of teams that are going to get in on earned access. Lisa McCrae at that 8 spot, but the CVAC and the CIAA are both going to get teams in the conference champions as well as the conference champion automatic berth here, which leaves it up for 5 other teams. Clarion, as you said, they're more than likely in. So that leaves 4 at-large bids for really about 6 or 8 teams that are deserving to get in.
Yes, we've seen great play. Most of our teams here, some of them have played the teams in the CIAA or the CVAC, so we've been able to see some of that play down there and get familiar with what we could see next weekend.
And Karen, you're on the committee. What criteria do you look at to decide who gets in? I know the NCAA, they produce their handbook every year with the criteria in it. But what are some of the major things that you look for when you're trying to sit down, decide, and select who gets into the postseason?
Well, one of the things we look at is common opponents. So you're looking to see, who maybe Clarion has played versus California and how each team did against those teams. You may look at wins and losses, strength of schedule. Certainly you don't want a team that is playing very easy teams that could be 20-0 versus another team that's playing a more difficult schedule. So you're looking at some of those things as the criteria for selection.
Yeah, and strength of schedule is something that really is controlled by each team, more so in volleyball than it is in, say, football. We see that, again, we got to talk about that strength of schedule. It's hard with a mandated schedule, but in volleyball, you play 34 matches, 10 are mandated conference games, and then you have 6 crossover games. So that's only half. The other half of your schedule is what you want to make of it. California played a tough schedule early on when they went out west, and you look at Clarion, they played some pretty good non-conference opponents out of the West Virginia Conference and some other places.
I think, and you see a lot of teams in the conference in the PSAC traveling to play, whether they're traveling to Virginia, North Carolina to play some of those teams, or even going a little bit farther, West Coast, Colorado, Florida, playing some nationally ranked teams that have been that way for a few years now. So when we look at the regional rankings of other regions, and you see the Grand Valley States or the Tampas, that sometimes dictates where you're going next year too.
And Clarion, they traveled to the Carolinas. They played at Lees-McRae and Belmont Abbey earlier in the season, both 3-0 victories. So they have, these conferences they've had played some interconference games. They've played each other, so they're not complete strangers come playoff time. There's at least something to look at to see how things worked out. And especially for Clarion, there's a good chance they could end up meeting Lees-McRae again next week, first or second round.
They could, and for them it would be quite an advantage as they've already seen them before, probably have game film on them. If California gets the draw against Lees-McRae, they have not seen them, so a little bit more difficult situation. Yeah,
it's been 2 years, and obviously a team changes a lot in 2 years. From what I remember, Lees-McRae, they were top-heavy that year, a lot of seniors that are now departed.
California with the side out there. Joanna Niss will drop back to serve at 17-12. California's in the lead in this third game.
Joanna Niss catches the top of the net. Outside the freeze, just pushes it off the block, kept alive, but nobody can cover there. It was Joy Carey.
Point for California. Looked like a little bit of a carry on that side. Tough to see from the official standpoint. It's 18-12. Niss will drop back. Service error. Point for Clarion, 18-13. Christina Steiner will be back to serve for Clarion.
And Clarion now at a point in game 3, down 5 points. Beanick just rolls one at the setter Fiorillo, so it takes away a hitter. But they're a point now. They've really got to get a side out and get something going. As that one off the top of the block, no coverage. As you see, the setter Fiorillo and the libero Vicky Gentili very deep in the court.
And that's a tough play for Clarion. Everybody's back waiting for the strong attack that would come from the outside, and you never anticipate the shots right off of the blocker's hands.
That one close down the sidelines. Clarion elects to play it. Now 20-13, and a side out desperately needed by Clarion. As 1-for-1 now is going to put you very close to the end of this game. The outside Angermeyer, that goes off the touch. Hinnick plays it. Santavi, strong swing, picks up her own block ball. Go right back to Amber Santavi. There's a cross-court kill.
And again, we've seen that strong shot by Amber Santavi, who's really able to cut the ball. She finds the seam in the blocker's hands, hits that ball to the left side position, and Clarion not able to get it up.
Hinnick just over the net. They're outside of Angermeyer. There's a kill down the line. And one of the few uncontested swings we've really seen out of Clarion through 3 games now.
Strong attack by Angermeyer, hits that back line. Clarion is trailing 14-21, 21-14 in this third game.
He goes right side, Beanick right down through the block.
Beanick again with a real high vertical jump, able to find the seam over the blockers of Clarion. It's 22-14. Mallory DeMarco, great server for California, back at the line.
Go right at Sarah Freeze again and try to eliminate her on that right side. Block kill for California. It's Mallory DeMarco, or Renata Da Silva and Megan Menzer.
23-14, DeMarco back. California going to work hard to end this game now.
Range Christina Steiner rolls back to Marta Hodge. Quick middle blocked. Now Da Silva right back to the corner. Great coverage there by Gentili to get to it. And off the touch, a nice play by Angermeyer just to keep that ball in play.
And as you said, that was a great save by Gentili. Renata Da Silva knew that back corner was open. Gentili able to read it and pass that ball up for a Clarion point.
And for Da Silva out of the front row, you can't pick a ball up and go place it in the corner better than where that was. They go outside Santavi, worked by Gentili off the top of the net. And they get the lift on Angermeyer there. A tough one off the net. If that comes down into that, she's going to play it up. Instead it catches the top, bounces back at her, and really handcuffed her.
And she catched it, or caught it actually in her arms. Middle attack for Clarion.
Andrews just punches it over. Menzer, nice job to set it up. Now De Silva, rare swing on a set. Another block there. Gentili keeps it alive. They go back to the corner. California plays it. De Silva quick.
What a
quick tip.
A great quick pass by Amber Santavia, and Hanada De Silva being in the front row. Takes that left hand, quick tip to the middle of the court. Nobody anticipating that. Substitution in for Clarion, number 3, Katie Aron will come in for Freeze.
And this turning out to be very similar to that October 23rd matchup between these two teams. First game's 30-24, 30-23, then the game 3 was 30-16. Won the California with the 2-0 lead. They didn't let off and really kept it up. They're keeping it up here. It's 25-16, where with Joy Carey serving. Now, Clarion, they've got to run. You've got to think realistically, as a coach, as a player, you've got to really think 5 points here before a side out.
And here's a crucial side out right here. Joy Carey serves the ball out of bounds at a critical time, 26-16. The Clarion was looking to change the momentum at that time, but Megan Menzner will drop back to serve for the Vulcans.
Drill gets it to the outside to Steiner, takes a pretty big swing, covers her own block, but again, just almost panicked there for Carey to try and come up to get that ball.
Great job by De Silva with a single solo block on the outside. Menzner dropping back 27-16. California looking to end this match and win their PSAC championship.
Menzner serve down the sideline. Good solid serve. Steiner just has to send one to the corner. DeMarco plays it up, and that's the advantage of DeMarco coming in as a setter there. A ball higher, pancake save. Clarion, what a great save, and they get the 4 contacts. But with DeMarco back there playing the defensive setter position, as a setter, really, when she came in as the second setter on this team, anything high she can play with her hands, and you're going to get a good look.
Yeah, she is a great person, as we had talked about, to have on the court, because she truly is that second setter. If the ball's hit to De Silva, she can come in and really still set the offense as she had when she was playing primarily the setter's position. It's 28-17. Clarion is serving.
Nicole Andrews with the serve, go outside. Joanna Nist, she's blocked. Corner keeps it alive. De Silva can go right back to her. Second effort dug nicely by Joy Carey. Cifrero keeps it alive. Now send over free ball. There's DeMarco, handles it with the hands. Quick middle. Blocked and played out of the net. Tressa Dvorsky, dug by Joanna Nist. Now De Silva goes back there. They get her on the double contact. But for Clarion, yeah, they're going to get, more than likely, they're going to get beat here today. I don't want to say anything's over until it really is over. Seen crazier thing happen, but you know, a good showing here. They get to the finals, and a big win. You know, the one you've got to take away from is the 3-1 victory over Shippensburg last night on their home court, when Ship had a big crowd in attendance as well.
Right, I think Ship invited all of their student athletes out to the game last night, and as you said, really had a big showing. It was a loud gymnasium last night, but really Clarion able to capitalize on that and stay focused. California will serve. Hanada De Silva will serve for the PSAC championship right now. It's 29-19. California fans are on their feet. California players are excited, clapping on the end lines. California just needs this point for the victory.
Mishandled now. It's Gentili has to send it over. De Silva keeps it alive. Go outside. Joanna Nist off the block. Clarion going to continue. Christina Steiner back row attack blocked and down. This one off the side, the outside hand of Katie Bienick. So that will bring Sarah Freeze back in.
29-20. Fiorillo will be back to serve for Clarion.
And that's the one thing I've noticed. Not a lot of teams have served out a game. It's always been out of receive. That they've closed out games in this tournament. So teams really have to never say die attitude. They haven't given up. They go outside. Joanna Nist off the blocks. Down here keeps it alive. Played up. California free ball to work with. Now De Silva just pushes it right back weak side. Bienick off the block. California get another free ball.
Clarion definitely saying it's not over till it's over. Ball hits out of bounds. California wins the PSAC championship.
And for the second time in 4 years, or 3 years, excuse me, California, the PSAC champions.
I've got to go give some trophies away.
Karen's going to go hand out trophies. We're going to keep it here, and we'll bring you the the trophy presentation. So for California, their 4th PSAC championship in school history, 1991, 1992, 2005, and now 2007 for Coach Myers, her 2nd championship. For Amber Santavi, her 2nd championship as well as a Vulcan. And for Clarion, their season not done yet. As we'll more than likely see them in the regional rankings. You see the game scores there, 30-27. An outstanding, exciting, it's a great game too, 37-35, in which California battled back down 29-25. They rolled it off and put it away late. And then a 30-20 victory here in game number 3. And for California, I believe they all but assured themselves to host the Atlantic Regional Selection Show. Is Monday. We're going to take a look at the play of the game. I believe take a look at it here in a second.
www.ncaasports.com. 8 teams qualify for the NCAA Atlantic Region Championship to be held November 15th through 17th.
But talk about that Atlantic Regional ranking. The selection committee are going to sit down tomorrow, decide the 5 teams in, with the exception. We have the 3 automatic berths. The Carolina Conference, the CIA, and the PSAC. Now California has earned the automatic berth and an undefeated regional record. They're going to stay in. They're going to host. But the selection show is going to be Monday at 9 a.m. It can be viewed via webcast at www.ncaasports.com. Remember, 8 teams in. They're going to be November 15th through the 17th. More than likely at California. And just some final game stats. Joanna Nist leading the way for California, 18 kills. Now we're going to take a look at game point. Clarion just trying to keep it alive. Goes out of bounds. Celebration for California, but Nist leads the way, 18 kills. Santavi 16 kills, so 34 of the 63 kills on the outside. For California, Katie Bienick, 11 kills on that right side. Renata da Silva, 52 set assists. 5 Vulcans, double-digit kills. Amber Santavi with 22, Marta Hodge with 20. Renata da Silva, 18 digs. Mallory DeMarco and Joanna Nist, 10 digs apiece.
The sophomore setter from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
For Clarion, Sarah Fries, 15 kills. Amanda Angermeyer, 14 kills. See California receiving their championship plaques.
Number 2,
and at the end of the PSAC championship trophy. And for Clarion, Vicky Gentile, the setter, or the libero, 29 digs. As you can just see how aggressive the California attack was. 79 digs on the match for Clarion, 84 for California, 14 blocks for the Vulcans to 2 of Clarion. And California, they do it in impressive fashion.
Outside hitter from Rockwood, Pennsylvania, Joanna Nist.
For this California squad, they're going to go on to the Atlantic Regional with still a relatively young team. The 2 seniors,
Number 7,
Santavi
from Red Hook, New York, Ashley Dreyer.
Katie Bienick, with the exception of the Silva, Marta Hodge, Megan Menzer, all sophomores. Ashley Moore, a middle hitter. We didn't see much of a sophomore. Joanna Nist, a sophomore.
Number 9, junior.
You look, Mallory DeMarco, a junior. This is her 2nd PSAC title. Tamara Hinnick in the middle, a junior. And then some freshmen on the roster. Didn't see much playing time this year, but their roles are going to increase as well over the next couple of years. And for Clarion, it has to be disappointing to go down 3-0 in the finals, especially with all your parents in attendance. But again, they're going to be continuing on next week at the regional. Depends on where they're seated. I would think they'll be anywhere between a 2 and a 4 seed. I can't see them being any lower than that. They're a very good team. They fall to 27-5 on the season, with 3 of their 5 losses coming to California. So very, very possible that we're going to see these 2 teams meet up again next weekend.
Number 16, freshman middle hitter from Hanover, Pennsylvania, Amanda Markneck. Assistant coach, Jack Zebo. And in her 6th year at California, head coach Melissa Myers.
Myers now second PSAC title in 6 years. And Coach Myers' career.
MVP, number 15, Amber Santavi.
Amber Santavi, fittingly the senior, named the PSAC tournament MVP. 2 big matches. I believe she had 18 or 19 kills last night, 16 more today. Actually, I can tell you how many she had yesterday in this tournament. Amber Santavi, 36 kills, 37 digs, and a couple of blocks. So Amber Santavi, your PSAC tournament MVP. But back to Coach Myers' career-wise, including this tournament, 158 and 48. It's about a 770 win percentage. She's now 7-1 in the PSAC tournament. NCAA tournament-wise, in 2002 they went out in the first round. 2004 they were 2-1, lost in the finals. 2005 lost in the first round, and then last year they lost in the regional finals again. With I believe both of those regional final losses coming to Lock Haven. So for California, their second PSAC championship in 3 years, 4th in team history. They're going to gear up now, take a couple of days off, and get ready for the Atlantic Regional. One more time, we're going to take a look at that game point. And Clarion trying to do everything they can to keep it alive. But California, see Motor Hodge right there. Watch it go wide. So for California, congratulations. To Clarion, congratulations as well. As Clarion, should be California taking the picture. Karen's going to rejoin us. And Karen, real quick, where do both of these teams go from here? California, obviously, they're on a roll. Clarion, they can't get their heads down. They played a solid match, with the exception really Game 3 started to get away there. But what do they do to regroup now looking towards next weekend?
Well, I think both teams just played a tremendous tournament. But obviously, all are going to go back. They're going to look at the game footage. They're going to look and see what they did right, what they did wrong. They're going to correct their mistakes this week and prepare to come down, hopefully to California, for the regional tournament, which will start on Thursday.
And that one a little bit longer. 8 teams get in as opposed to 6. And with the 6-team tournament, it's definitely an advantage to get, the first round, or the number 1 seed. You get that first round bye, but at the same time, you could look and argue the point, expand it to 8, nobody gets a bye. But with 12 teams, what's the point at that point?
Right.
2/3 of your field gets in.
With the regional tournament, California should take the number 8 seed in the tournaments. We'll find out that more on Monday at the 9 a.m. conference call. Clarion, if they stay at number 2, will take the 7 seed. So again, interesting to see who will draw. And if you haven't seen those teams from the South, sometimes you're in for something different, as we had seen with Lee's McRae.
In California, they're going to learn their opponent at 9 a.m. Monday. NCAAsports.org is going to webcast the selection show for all 8 regionals. Karen, thanks for joining us. I'm guessing we'll probably see you again next weekend.
We will see you next weekend.
For our entire crew here, Kevin Wagner, Mike Ford, Andy Walter, Alex Kunkel, Stephanie Smith, Josh Abert, and our director, producer, Gary Smith. Karen, thanks for joining us. For Karen Harpy, I'm Joe Rubel. This has been the 2007 PSAC Championships right here on CUTV.